Welcome to Toy Business Unboxed, your gateway to the secrets of the toy industry. Here, Jason Shea, a toy entrepreneur and expert in the field, will guide you through the enchanting world of toy design, marketing, and manufacturing. Now let the unboxing begin.
Hey, toy creator, welcome to Toy Business Unboxed. I'm your host, Jason Shea, and today we have a very special episode for you. We are joined by Matt Nuccio, the president of Design Edge, a super cool toys and game design company that works with big names like Mattel and Hasbro. Matt isn't just a toys expert, he's a toys superstar. He had been co-chair of Toys Association's Associate Panel and is on the board of United Inventors Association America and also advised the people of play. Plus, he writes about toys for Toys Family Entertainment magazines and travel around the world to talk about toys. And guess what? He even had been called the American inventor by NSA. His company, Design Edge, has created toys and games that have won loads of awards. And get this, he has also been named the top influencer in the toys industry for 4 years in a row by Mojo Nation. Isn't that awesome? So grab your most fun toys, find a comfy spot, and get ready to hear one of the most coolest toys designer around. And let's welcome Matt and dive into his world of amazing toys and games. So thank you, Matt, for joining us today.
Thank you, Jason. How you doing?
I'm doing great. It's really my honor to talk to you. And I know you have tons of experience in the toys industry, and I cannot wait to dive in and learn and hear some of your stories.
Sure. Let's dive right in. Let's go ahead first.
Yeah, so let's start out with kind of just giving the listener, I think you have over 30 years of experience in the toys business. Can you share some of the pivotal moment in your journey that have shaped your perspective and your approach in the toys industry?
Yeah, it's hard. It's 35 years actually.
Oh,
Squarely.
sorry, 35, sorry.
No, I grew up in the toy business because my parents started the company out of the family garage. I was in high school at the time, and I've been there ever since. And when I first started, we were barely using computers. It was still paste up mechanicals and hand building everything. And now we're 3D printing stuff and automated CNCs and laser cutting and computer graphics. Things have quite quite a lot in those days. But pivotal moments is kind of like I've been fortunate to watch the changing of the tides a few times as different groups and perspectives of the toy industry have changed, and I've been able to apply some of that old school thought into pushing forward and being progressive. And it's amazing, like product sometimes was old as new, also business mentalities too. It's amazing how you can apply ways of doing business that to some might seem archaic, but to make them seem progressive. So
Yeah, I think the toys definitely change over the year. And the way I think the kids interact with the toys also change over the years. I think when I was younger, I have more toys to play around with. I feel like the kids nowadays, at least my child, they tend to play around with like electronics a little bit more than those traditional toys that when I was growing up that I usually play more.
which is it's totally true, but I always say, like, TV didn't replace the radio, so they will always coexist. But also while some people always say to me, like, "Oh, the toy industry must be shrinking, kids aren't using toys as much." That's not true because the toy market's also expanded. You now have kidults, right? There's adults collecting toys.
True, that's true,
Yeah,
100%. Yeah.
yeah, that wasn't a big deal 30 years ago, but now all over the place.
I think switch focus and talk a little bit about your company. I know Design Edge is known for a one-stop solution for bringing toys to the market. Can you walk the listener and the viewers through how your company contribute and how it support both established and emerging toy companies?
Sure. So we are and recently trademarked your toy company for hire. So we are completely vertical. We can design, engineer, ideate, prototype, manufacture, set up distribution, the whole nine yards. If you're a big toy company, you'll hire us to take a project and manage it straight through, or you'll hire us a la carte to maybe design just the packaging or to build you some prototypes or just have us manufacture something. But if you're a startup or a medium sized company that needs to really watch your P's and Q's and your finances and you want to get things done right, we're the ideal situation. You come to us with your concept, we'll flesh it out. We'll get it costed. We'll make sure it's costed to a targeted retail price. We'll adjust everything. We'll get all the distribution channels set up. We'll work with the sales reps. We'll get it to retail. We really make life easy. Work with guys like you to get it online and then make sure that it's, in the right hands. And then it's just everything's just built right, you know, and you're not just in the dark trying to figure out how am I going to get this to market. You have to have a good idea and you have to be willing to hustle and work hard with us and we'll get it done and we'll get it done right.
For sure. I think getting your idea into creation and getting ready for the launch is definitely a process a lot of the entrepreneur or the toy creators sometimes get stuck on. You are definitely a really good resource for them to go to and learn more about how you can help with their creation process to make it as seamless as possible. So,
Hmm.
and I know you're also listed by Mojo Nation as one of the top 100 most influential people in the toy industry for 4 consecutive years. How does that kind of recognitions impact your work and the industry?
Honestly, as of a couple of days ago, it's 5 years in a row.
5 years. Okay. We need to update our show notes, apparently.
Yeah, so that got those got announced earlier this week or last week. So yeah, so it's now 5 years. It's nice to be recognized by your industry, and I feel wanted. It's
Yeah.
good, but we hustle. We've been around for 35 years. We work really
Yeah.
hard, and we make sure that we're all the right places, and we do all the right things, and we have great successes for our clients, and because of that, we get recognized, and I'm thankful for that. It's
Yeah. For
the
the
best press is press that you didn't ask for.
For sure. So for the follow-up question I have on that is for the people that's a kind of a newcomer like myself, I only be in the toy industry since 2017, so definitely doesn't have the 35 years experience as you. What
Mhm.
are some of the good resources that you point to the toys creator or the people that want to get involved in the industry to get more information or get more educations? What are some of the resources that you can share to the listener and the viewer?
Sure, sure. So I'm heavily in, so as you mentioned, I sit on the executive board of the United Inventors Association of America. And through that, we started setting up hubs for different industries. We were working on a
Mm,
hardware hub, we're working on a crowdfunding hub, a
mm.
direct response hub, a Shark Tank hub, and
Oh,
I
nice.
chair and created the Toy Hub. So
Mm,
you can go onto YouTube and look up the Toy Hub, and you'll get some videos where I've set up interviews with many of the top toy professionals who will give their advice on what it's like to either license your products or
mm,
to self-produce. And that's one great resource. And the United Inventors Association, if you go to uiausa.org, is an amazing resource. The UIA was born out of the USPTO, the patent office, to help protect inventors. It's a nonprofit, and
mhm.
we educate throughout and advocate through education.
Oh, nice.
So
Make sure we include that in the show notes. So for the listener and
yeah,
the viewer, they have a resource they can go to. So thank you so much for sharing that.
yeah,
So
yeah. That's all part of paying it forward. People got questions, and I'm always willing to help. I'm not very guarded in that respect.
yeah, and I think with all your involvement and with all the different associations, of course, you mentioned a few resources for our listener to go to. And but how do you juggle with all this role besides running your own companies? And how does that contribute to your mission to advocating for the inventors and also the innovators in the toy industry?
I'm fortunate enough that we're large enough that I have a staff, right? So it's not like I'm the only person here working on everything. You set aside some time, but the best thing, especially with the Toy Hub, is I built something, and then I invited top brass from Mattel, Hasbro, Spin Master,
Mm,
Tinkertini to join the board, and they all said yes. So I have an amazing board of
mhm.
high-ranking toy executives who are now donating their time alongside me to help inventors. And what do I get out of that? I get to feel good that I'm helping, and I'm also strengthening my relationships and becoming closer friends with people who are like-minded about these things.
Yeah, I would actually. I haven't checked out your YouTube channel. I'll make sure I also check it out today as well. And I know with your company's Design Edge, a lot of your product that you design has been nominated and also won industry award. Can you share a few like most notable product or any story around the product that you have designed that you want to share with our audience?
We're let's see, we just won the Taggy Award for a packaging we did for Spin Master for their Rubik's Cube influencer box. So that was a big deal. I wasn't expecting that. I was off the side of the stage thinking was going to go to the bar and get a drink, and then I heard my name.
Okay, nice.
Oh, okay. I guess I'm going the other direction, which was fantastic. But over the years, we've worked on many of the top toys. I was really early in my career, worked on things like Tickle Me Elmo and
Mhm.
Pots and the Power Glove. And then like mid-career, help with, we worked on projects with Spin Master, like Air Hogs. And then with Cardinal, we helped launch when Texas Hold'em blew up. We were the
Oh,
first in that area too. In fact, the owners of Cardinal said that the packaging that we did for their Texas Hold'em was the most knocked off packaging that was ever done for them. So
Okay.
So if you go on Alibaba, you'll see
Yeah.
knockoffs of packaging that we did 20 years ago, still circulating to this day.
That's if everyone's copying it, it must be good, right?
Yeah. I always used to make jokes like, "Oh, I made a lot of money at Texas Hold'em," and then people will sit down, "You wanna play?" I'm like, "Oh, I don't know how to play." They're like, "You said you made a lot of money." No, I'm not playing the game. Like,
Yeah, people will think you're like making a lot of money at Vegas, maybe. Do you have any product in the room you're in that you can also share to the audience as well that you recently designed?
everything, geez, where can I go take a walk around? Just go this way. Like, probably my conference room is probably a better place to show things that we've done. It's
Sure. For those of you that's listening that want to watch the actual product, feel free to jump onto our YouTube channel to see the product as well.
lots of different things, and I'm always more excited about the little things. Like, I love just this weird stuff we did for Barnes and Noble a decade ago, where it's all urban style collectibles, or some more mass stuff that we've done for Mattel and Hasbro, and a lot of crazy action figure sets, and
Well,
you
you
know,
have a lot in. That's your toy collection room.
oh, this is nothing. This barely touches anything. We got
Okay.
get over 5,000 square feet here, and it's lots of toys.
Nice. Yeah. Thank you for showing us your
And then,
exhibit.
of course,
Yeah.
this wall, most of it done by us, but there's a few things. Obviously, I had nothing to do with this Mego Spider-Man. That was probably done before I was even born. Or this Kenner Star Wars. A lot of the other stuff was developed here and designed by Design Edge.
I see. And I think this is a good segue to talk about how this, like the toy development kind of cycle usually work based on your experience. Of course, a lot of our listener could be aspiring toys entrepreneur that's trying to figure out the workflow. If you just break it down into an overview, what are the few key step or key milestone that people need to consider when they are just thinking about or designing their own toys?
I mean, the timeline, there's really two questions in there. I always say the timeline's a year. I don't care where you're at, it's a year. Because there's also a cycle, and it's also when you start in the year. For the majority of the toy industry, it's a fourth quarter business. But there's also this second quarter, the spring summer business is the next thing. And it's going to take you months to design a product, months to tool a product.
Yeah.
And then there's the manufacturing, of course, and then the shipping. And in between that, you have to set up your distribution channels. So
Mhm.
it's not something that happens overnight. So oftentimes when some entrepreneur calls me and they want to start a toy company, they're shocked by that line. Ah, they thought they'd be in business.
Yeah, it's not as simple
Okay.
or straightforward
Yeah.
as
I'm like, You're not opening a hot dog stand. You're building a toy company."
true, true, true. What are some of the interesting story that with all the different company that you interacted in the past that you like to share with the audience?
Ah, I probably have a lot of good stories, but I probably should keep my mouth shut.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I know where a lot of bodies are buried. We'll just put
I see. A lot of toys out there. Yeah. And go ahead, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, please. Please.
So I have a question more going back to the thing you mentioned about Toy Hub, which you are the founder and the chairman of. Can you tell us, you briefly already touched on the mission a little bit, but what are all the different ways that Toy Hub support the toys inventors in navigating the industry?
It's mostly through education. So we get different inventors or executives or people who run inventor relations to go on and talk more specifically, and retailers as well as sales reps, about what they're looking for and what benchmarks they're expecting to see stuff.
Mhm.
Because oftentimes, if you're an outsider and you come into this business, you're going to miss things that are very important or crucial to timelines or crucial to marketing. And just to have a resource that sort of just covers all that, so you're not in the dark. I've
Yeah.
always had the benefit of being an outsourced product development company. So I've been inside so many toy companies, probably more than anybody else. I've been in meetings at Hasbro, been in meetings at Spin Master, been in meetings in Mattel, and they all operate very differently, yet they're all on the same timeline. And
Mm.
they've all have the same almost deliverables. But if you're an outsider, you don't know what those are.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
And it's very important. And understanding costing, understanding spreadsheets,
Mm.
target pricing, and what your margins should be, are all very important. You get a lot of people come in and they make up their own margins. And I'm always thinking, that's not gonna work.
I, yeah, yeah. So what are some of the common pitfall that you notice for the toy entrepreneur?
I'm trying to make every dime they invested back in the first run and at the same time doing a very small run.
Mm,
So, an item that should retail for 19.99, they're trying to sell for 39.99. Yeah.
okay, okay.
And the just gonna kill the item. Yeah.
I see. It's going back to the margin. Maybe it's charging a lot more than what the typical market can bear, right?
Yeah. And then we're never gonna get retail on board because the buyers, they're merchants. They know what these things cost. And
Mhm.
then
True.
don't try to BS them. They'll
That's
insult
true.
them. Yeah.
Yeah, they know the cost.
Yeah.
And I think you're also the US representative for the International Federation of Inventors Associations. Do you also do a lot of international collaborations?
That's the United Nations. So I have a seat in the UN through IFIA. That came about because I was the representative from the UIA, the United Inventors Association. So they sent me to Geneva to sit in the UN meetings. And then all of a sudden they're electing new countries into IFIA. US was already in it, but the person had stepped down. And then I wasn't even paying attention. And again, all of a sudden I heard my name over the intercom, and then they had voted me on. I got a chair seat in the UN.
Well,
And
okay. That's
yeah.
interesting.
And it
Okay.
was weird because
Yeah.
the gentleman next to me, I got Uganda next to me, all dressed up, and I got some guy from Romania, and they all have their sashes and say their country, and I'm dressed like I am right now in like a t-shirt and wearing Vans, and it's like,
Okay.
trying to.
That's the UN. That's different than the International Federation of
IFIA
Inventors.
is born out of the
Very
UN,
big.
and their
Oh,
headquarters are in Geneva.
oh, got it. Got it. Got it.
It's all through WIPO.
I see. Yeah. So how often, like, how does that organization work?
They do events all over the world, and we're
Okay.
doing an event in Silicon Valley actually in this upcoming summer. If you follow IFIA on social media, you'll get more information about that. They have a very large following. I think it's close to 100,000 followers just on
Mhm.
Instagram. So
Okay. 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 Yeah. Good to know. Thank you for sharing that. Is
yes,
there any
the very good
resources they
group.
provide as well?
They do a lot of the similar things that the UIA does. So we're sister organizations.
Okay.
So we try to help each other out, but they're worldwide. So when I deal with IFIA and reach, I'm speaking to people in all over the world: Korea, Iran, Romania, UIA. We do speak to people outside of the country, but it's mostly domestic. And there are different types of inventors too. I find the US inventor is more of the entrepreneur who's got an item who wants to get it to market. The IFIA inventor is doing the water filtration system
Mm,
for third world countries, things like that.
I see. Okay. Do you see like how the
A lot of
toy?
government sponsors, by the way, in IFIA as well. So if you
I,
go to, they also do a big show every year in Geneva. So if
mhm,
you go to that, you'll see an entire section that'd be China, an entire section that's Thailand, an entire section that's Ukraine. It's
mm,
usually university sponsored or state sponsored. So they'll have an entire section just from a country sponsored by that country. While the
oh, wow.
UIA's, yeah, while the UIA is more, it's individuals. And our big show's coming up, which would be the National Hardware Show, where we have a giant section there. So if you're an inventor who's looking to get in front of some people to pitch and show and get some great advice, the National Hardware Show is a fantastic place to do that. Last year, I moderated the Shark Tank panels there, so
Oh, you did. Wow, amazing.
it was a lot of fun. Yes, yes.
Nice. How about for the toys inventor? What is the good show that you would recommend for them to attend and try to pitch their toy design?
The big one, of course, is People of Play in Chicago.
Mm, okay.
And then the Toy Association does something too, but it's on a smaller scale, and they're
Okay.
more, and they only have so many slots. So you have to apply for the Toy Association one. Is There's a lot more voting, and you usually have to be a little more polished for their one. But if you're looking to break into the toy industry,
Mhm.
People Play event.
People play. Any other trade shows or event that you recommend for the toy inventors?
If you're an inventor, those are the good ones. If you're an entrepreneur, because
Mm,
you can be an inventor and an entrepreneur. That's,
true, true.
you
That's
know,
me. Yeah,
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 and
yeah,
those are my favorites, by the way. You're
yeah.
business minded and creative. That's cool. That's why we get along. Then you really just got to start looking at the trade show circuit. You're
Mhm.
trying to launch a product. You want to launch it in specialty. So you're looking at, there's the Nets show coming up in a few weeks, which is the New England toy show.
Yeah.
And then you've got Astra happening in June, which you'll be at, you
Yes,
know.
I will be at an Astra. Yes.
And then you've got New York Now and the Atlanta Gift Show, and there's quite a few for the smaller guys, the guys who get the 10 by 10 booths and got good hustle.
Yeah, that's exactly us because we couldn't quite afford a 40 by 40 or the giant
Be
round yet.
a lot of empty space anyway. What do you need that much space for?
That's true. That's true. Running down today's interview, you mentioned in the beginning of our call before we hit the go live on the recording button, you have a new project you're working on. You want to talk to the
Sure.
listener
So
about?
I signed a deal in the fall with Drake Media to do my own talk show. It would be on
Oh,
CBS, national, syndicated nationally. CBS like affiliates, so more the local channels initially.
okay. Yeah.
We're also in talk with what's going to be on some basic streaming networks, and we're also in talks with some larger streaming networks to take it as well.
Nice.
So
What is the name for the show?
the show is called Toys of Our Lives,
Okay.
and I will be interviewing celebrities about the toys that they played with as children and how it helped create who they are and
That's
help
very
us.
cool. Thank you for sharing that. That
Yeah.
remind me of a documentary I watched on Netflix. It's called Toys That Made Us.
Yes,
That kind
Toys That
of,
Made Us. Yeah, that's about the creation of the toys. Yes.
yeah. Okay. So similar concept, but now you're actually going to interview and talk to more creators as
Yeah,
well.
we're not talking to
Yeah.
the people that made the toys. We're talking to the people that played with the toys.
Oh, the play with the toy. Okay, got it.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to that. When is the launch date for that show? So,
I'm not exactly. I guess it's going to be launching sometime in the spring. That's the
mhm,
executive producers take care of that stuff. I just
got it.
smile and look pretty.
Okay, that works. Okay, so as we're winding down to in today's episode, usually the last question I always ask to all the guests is, what is the number one tip that you will share with anyone that is either going into the toy industry or currently in the toy industry right now?
Just educate yourself, and obviously that's big. I'm a big advocate of education. Hence the Toy Hub and IFIA and the UIA. You don't work in a bottle, and just see what's out there and study the retail landscape, and just make sure you're making the best darn toy you can. Uh, that's able to get into the people's hands and change their lives.
For sure. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. And how can people find you?
You can find me on LinkedIn. That's where a lot of people, most people seem to go to get me, but you can also email me at matt@designedge.net. You can go to our website as well, which is designedge.net. And if you got a great toy idea that you're either looking to license somewhere or that you're hoping to bring to market yourself, or you're a toy company that needs some expertise, please reach out to me.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you so much. We'll make sure we put that in the show note as well. And thank you again for being on our podcast today. It was my honor to have you as a guest and listening to all the story and the tip that you're sharing to the audience.
It was my pleasure, Jason.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
You've been listening to Toy Business Unboxed, hosted by Jason Shea. Thank you for joining us in exploring the fascinating world of toys and the ingenuity behind them. To stay updated with the latest episodes and continue your journey into the toy business, remember to subscribe and follow us. If you found today's episode insightful, please leave a rating and review and share this podcast with others who share your passion for toys. Until next time, stay curious and keep innovating.